gives us the okay, can you formally adjourn again so we have a video record that we just came out?
Okay, you all set? Okay, I move to adjourn the executive session and move into open session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we need to adjourn the regular meeting, or the special meeting.
Move to adjourn this special meeting.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right. We got about
Call meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Wright,
Here.
Ms. Hawkins,
Here.
Mr. Lopez,
Here.
and Mr. Hennis.
Here.
If you will, Steve, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is 2A. Move to adopt the agenda of December 1st, 2020 as presented.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Wright,
Yay.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis.
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins,
Yes. Item 2B, minutes from prior meetings. Move to approve the minutes of November 3rd and 20th, 2020 as presented.
So moved.
I will second that.
Discussion?
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis.
Yes.
Recognitions. First would be Student of the Month recognition, CGE Students of the Month. Dr. Sykes, or Mr. Sykes.
Derek and Lillian, if you join me, please. President Hawkins, board members, Dr. Beebe. I'm honored this evening to recognize two students from Cache Grand Union High School in our STEM program, Engineering and Bioscience, as December's CTE Student of the Month. First, from our engineering program, we have Gary Dixon, who was nominated by his teacher, Mr. John Morris. Mr. Morris stated Gary has progressed through the 4 years of engineering pathway to emerge as a natural leader. Though quiet and timid as a freshman, Gary has found his place as a thoughtful and competent engineer. He has mastered SolidWorks computer-aided design, obtaining a professional designation as CSWA as a freshman, and is completing the SolidWorks instructor's course as a sophomore. He will be testing for the next level of professional certification in January. Eric's accomplishments include completing the regular curriculum of the STEM program. He is the president of the Mechanical Systems Engineer for CGUHSD Robotics team, the director of projects for the chapter of the Students for Exploration and Development of Space, and is also the producer of the monthly The Case for Space podcast. This, along with his studies in English and calculus at Central Arizona College, keep him very busy. In his spare time, Gary is the lead mentor of the Balago Middle School First Tech Robotic Challenge team. Gary, congratulations. And Gary's parents are Thomas Dixon and Jamie Shawcross. We get a link to your podcast?
Case for space, yep. Okay. I'm old, I'm gonna write that down.
One more thing, Gary, I forgot to give this to you. Get your little cool CT back.
Oh,
All right, next we have Lillian Hernandez from the Bioscience program. Lillian was nominated by her teacher, Mr. Noel Q. Lillian is in her 4th year of Bioscience STEM program. She responds well to the call of helping others, especially during lab classes and other activities. She frequently volunteers and participates in many HOSA events and competitions. When she competes in either state or international competitions, she always brings home awards that benefit the program and the school. She is the president of the Castrand Union High School HOSA chapter and officer of the STEM Advisory Council. She has excellent and respectful interactions with her peers by listening to their opinions and ideas during class discussions and organizational meetings. Lily is an outstanding bioscience student and works well whether inside the lab and HOSA activities or with the STEM Advisory Council. Lillian, congratulations to you. Lillian's parents are Ben and Cheryl Hernandez. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be the Rotary Students of the Month, and it looks like we'll start with Castrand Union. Let's go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Governing Board members, Superintendent, Dr. Beebe. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Merlin DeSouza. It seems to be a STEM or STEAM night, as a lot of her accolades are also STEAM related. She's here with her parents, Moses, and I apologize if I say the name wrong, Teodolina? Yes. All right, I got pretty good. Her activities and accomplishments are quite impressive. She's president of Key Club, student for the exploration of development of space, vice president of Link Crew, treasurer of NHS, founder of Debate Club, organizer, so don't argue with her, organizer of the SciTech Festival, founder and organizer of the annual Castle Ground STEAM Week, chief science officer serving on Arizona Leadership Council, and captain of the tennis team. Very well-rounded. She's also participated in the drama production, The Track Home. She's been student council secretary, health occupation students of America officer, and STEAM advisory committee chair. She's been the administrative lead for the Lemelson MIT Invent Team, SAD secretary, chief science officer for Project Flowerchild, and a member of the robotics team. During her various years, she's had first places in impromptu speech at DCON for Key Club, fourth place in parliamentary procedures for HOSA, second places in Division II math competition through CAC. She's been a $10,000 grant recipient as part of that MIT Invent Team, third place prepared speaking in HOSA, second place, and this one was a fun one, in Confucia Institute Chinese Language Competition, both as an individual and then first place as group. Her accomplishments continue as AP Scholar, STEAM Week proclamation for 2 years that she advocated for and was awarded. She's been Bioscience Student of the Month, AP Scholar with Honor, and Superintendent Challenge Award for over 200 plus hours. Additionally, she likes to serve outside of school. She's been an altar server, Junior Catholic Daughter of American Lector, and serves in the youth group there. She's received the St. John Paul II 2019 Youth Leadership Award as an outstanding missionary disciple and first place Catholic Daughter local and state winner for writing contest. So very active in school and out of school. What's neat is her career plans. She wants to attend medical school and become a neonatal doctor. Oh, wow. Traveling nonetheless, continue to grow in her faith and give back to her community. Definitely a service-oriented person. She acknowledges her teachers, advisors, counselors, and obviously most important, her parents and family. Her brother have supported her throughout these goals and her dreams. Merlin DeSouza. Congratulations.
You're amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You did it, okay. You do it.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Tonight, I would like to recognize Ricardo Ornelas And I don't believe Ricardo is here. Unfortunately, he was part of a group that was quarantined on Sunday. But I wanted to take a moment to recognize him anyway. He is the son of Maria and Juan Ornelas. He is president, AP Spanish Club president, Math Club treasurer, Robotics Club secretary, a member of Key Club, a member of National Honor Society, and Link crew leader. He also is an AP scholar with distinction, and he enjoys playing music and weight training. And his life and career goals, his dream is to attend UC Berkeley and major in computer science to one day work as a software engineer. Ricardo Ornelas.
Now for the Employee of the Month recognition, Dr. Beebe.
All right, President Hawkins, members of the governing board, I'm going to ask Mary Ann to come to the podium as we usually do, so she can read the names of the December employees of the month. And if our employees are here, if you'll come forward and get your plaque at the front table. If not, those who are not here, we'll send with our principals.
Thank you.
Robert Pierce, Mr. Grandin. Nathan Sheeler, Mr. Grandin. Nancy Meek, Mr. Grandin. Adriana Favela, Mr. Grandin. Anthony Lee, maintenance. Vicki Lawton, Casa Grande. Riza Casabuena, Casa Grande. And Mark Blades from Casa Grande.
I second.
Thank you.
Tim, and Justin, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, they are not able to be here tonight.
They are social distancing.
Okay, next is board member recognition and strength recognition.
You don't have to read it.
Swearing in of the re-elected and new board members, Chuck Wright, Jack Hennis, Kelly Harrington, and Taylor Kirby.
Well, I think we should start with the outgoing. So, as superintendent, it is my pleasure to be able to recognize Nancy Hawkins, who has been our board president. She has served on the governing board from 2013 to 2020, so she's done 2 terms with us. And I was thinking back and reflecting in my 2.5 years here, I think you have been the board president for the longest that I've got to work with of all the board presidents, but I've worked with 3 of you now in 2.5 years. So anyway, but we would like to just say thank you for all your dedication to our district. Thank you for your service, not only to the district and the students, but to our community for all that you do. So I have a plaque for you.
I would like to say it has really been a pleasure and an honor because you have been a great group of people. And I would have never known you, and I've learned a lot. But I would have never known you, and you're really a great group. And thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you for leading the helm for the last year. It was a very difficult year.
Yeah,
You've been
it would have been a great year.
you've been a calming force in a lot of turmoil, and you've provided a lot of guidance to us, and we appreciate your leadership this past year and the last 8 years, the last 4 that I've been on the board with you. You've done a great job. I want to congratulate you.
Thanks. And now the swearing in of the new board members.
So President Hawkins, I have asked our 2 newly elected board members to be with us tonight. So I'm going to introduce them, have them come up to the front, and then, so if I could, Kelly Harrington. If you guys want to just stand up,
As a kindergartner, that might need to be sworn in with me.
all right, well, bring her on. Horn them up.
If I'm unable to serve, she comes in.
Well, and just for everybody who's in the audience, so Member Chuck Wright was also re-elected for another 4-year term. And then, Member Jenkins is fulfilling the last 2. He came in for Tony Salcedo on his way out. Now he's going to fulfill the last 2 years of that term as well. So we're happy. As the superintendent, I have to swear the 4 of you in. We're going to officially swear, Kelly and Taylor will swear you in so that you can actually roll up your sleeves on in January and sit behind the dice and get to work. So here we go. So if you will, repeat after me. So if you put up your right hand, state your name.
I, Taylor Kirby,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
of governing board member
of governing board member
for the Casa Grande Union High School District
of Grande High School District,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations to all of you. Do you want them?
Yeah, I need to get.
And in January, we'll have Kelly and Taylor formally introduce themselves to us. So for all of you who just got sworn in, we need to have your signatures on this certificate.
And those 3 on the back. Oh,
My wife was a kindergarten teacher, just retired last year.
I gave them all that.
Yeah.
you're not yet.
Her son was a kindergarten teacher, like you said.
This top one.
Yeah, she-
Yeah, you're gonna sign, you're gonna sign there, and I'll do the rest.
It took 8 years off.
3.
Okay, let's go up there. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's third
I
one.
don't know, what you
She's trying to, there is a third one. You guys, you signed 3, right?
Yeah, I signed 3.
Yeah, I just got
Yeah, so she's getting the third. Hold on 1 second, we'll have
2/3 of board.
You're 2/3 of it. So what happens is one of them comes back to you, one of them comes to the district, and one of them stays with the county.
Oh, okay.
You guys will say that.
Thank you, yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Chuck, I did each of bits of bits. Here you go.
She's got it. You got it?
No, I don't.
I have one more.
I'll see you in.
Well, I'll try not to take it personally.
I'll see you in the,
I'll have him just send me another one and we
I can
can,
come.
yeah.
yeah, and we can get this signed as well.
Yeah, you-
All right.
And you're-
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Yes. Please feel to hang around as long as you want. It's a good thing.
You know, the sea, lots of good things going
Ready? Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
All right. Well, President Hawkins, members of the governing board, it's always my pleasure to get a chance to brag on our district and some of the things that are going on. But first, even though we've already recognized the employees of the month, I'd just like to again publicly thank the Big House Cafe again for being our sponsor for the Employee of the Month breakfast and being able to work with us. We appreciate them. And so the employees of the month, while they were not here with us tonight, I hope that most of them can join me next week, Wednesday, the 9th at 7:30 for breakfast in their honor. for being an Employee of the Month. So I'd also like to take a minute now and congratulate the golden ticket winners for the month of December. We had 86 total tickets filled out, and the following were our winners. Joey Alvarado from Casa Grande Union was our grand prize winner. Jared Walter from Vista Grande was a winner, and then Annabella Sinner from Casa Grande and Brianna Sundell from Casa Grande also all were winners for us. I am happy to report that we were notified that we will be receiving our enrollment stabilization grant in the amount of $817,542.62. So that was good news, and we're still working on some of the deadlines, but very happy that we are receiving that money in that stabilization grant to help with some of the time with the attendance and things that we've gone on through this year. I'd like to say a huge thank you to APS and their Supply My Classroom program. We learned, I think last board meeting I presented to you the 17 teachers who won a scholarship, but we have also learned since then that Vista Grande was selected to receive $5,000 for the use of their choice. So they get a check from APS and Principal Gold can decide how they use that money to best benefit their school district. So on November 3rd, it was senior night at Casa Grande Union for the varsity volleyball team. So I would like to say congratulations to their 3 seniors and their parents. And on November 4th, Casa Grande Union's Thomas Reyes and Elizabeth Porras qualified for sectionals to attend the state cross-country meet on November 13th. They were recently recognized, I think, in the dispatch. On November 5th, it was senior night at Vista Grande for the varsity volleyball team. And again, congratulations to their 2 seniors and their families. I'd like to say thank you to the Vista Grande Student Council and Key Club who collected 20 bags of trash along Arizola, Cottonwood, and Clements on November 7th. Big congratulations to Vista's Brianna McQuillan, who was named the AIA 4A through 6A Scholar Athlete Recipient. Brianna's participated in cross country and track for the last 4 years, and she's going to continue her career next year at Kansas State University. So she's quite the runner. I would not want to go out running with her. So congratulations to the Vista Grande JROTC who honored our veterans by participating in Maricopa's inaugural Veterans Day Parade on November the 7th. Congratulations to the Casa Grande Union freshman football team for their big 60-8 win on November 12th to conclude their season. A nice way to wrap up the season. Congratulations to the Vista Grande baseball team who finished 2nd in the 9th annual American Heroes Veterans Tournament last month. And a big congratulations to the Casa Grande Union MCJROTC drill team. They took first place in the first year unarmed inspection and regulation in varsity color guard, varsity unarmed section, varsity armed inspection, and varsity unarmed regulation. The group also finished 3rd in the varsity armed regulation, and they took home the grand champion trophy at their competition last month. So quite the showing for that. On November 18th, Steve Sipes and I had the opportunity to participate in Mayor McFarland's roundtable workforce in reality discussion. This was just the beginning of what we hope to be several more conversations that could lead to the potential of the Casa Grande City Workforce Development Program alongside CAC and Casa Grande Union High School District. So really exciting times, and some of the things are going on, and I will keep the board abreast as those things move on. Congratulations to the Casa Grande Union varsity football team who defeated Lake Havasu 62-28 on November the 20th in the play-in round of the 4A football playoffs. They then defeated last Friday Peoria 47-30 in the state quarterfinals. And the Cougars are the #1 seed in the 4A division and will now host Cactus High School, who's the #4 seed, this Friday night, December 4th, in the state semifinals. So that's a first time for Casa Grande to have a semifinal game and to be in the semifinals. So we wish them well. They've been very impressive to watch, and I would like to just say good luck to Coach Barrow, his staff, and the Cougar varsity football team this Friday night. So, and in part of that, a big congratulations to Casa Grande Union's R.J. Keaton, who was named the Arizona Bowl Player of the Week. And the Cougars' 62 win over Lake Havasu, R.J. scored 6 touchdowns on 16 carries and 216 yards. I was it was quite impressive. I remember when he crossed the line and he's number 5 and he pointed number 5 and then he got one more. So, quite impressive. But anyway, kind of exciting times for them. So that concludes my report.
Okay, so minutes reserved for board action. First one is move to approve to change the date of January 2021 meeting from first Tuesday to January 12th, 2021 due to winter break.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Third.
No discussion.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mr. Hennis.
Yes.
Okay, next one, 6B, and that's gonna be the benchmarks and learning modality. Dr. Beebe.
President Hawkins, members of the governing board, as promised, we've had many discussions about the learning modalities for our students. And, since September 17th, we've been able to have students on both campuses learning in the modified in person, those who have chosen to do so. But as the COVID numbers continue to rise and we've had cases, throughout, one of the things that we've talked about constantly is to stay in communication. We as a district we have presented everything to Pinal County Health that has come our way, every case, every known case. We've followed their direction. We've done that. Today, I had a meeting with the Pinal County, Dr. Spears, Pinal County Health Department Director, the epidemiologist and her team with the current numbers to ask for their recommendation, as I said I would do with the board. I presented that letter as part of the board packet, but in my meeting with them today, the county health department says that we have gotten to the point with the COVID cases and now having the first benchmark 2 reds, the second benchmark is a yellow and a red, and the third one is red. Their recommendation at this time would be that we as a school district would consider the temporary closure of on-site and in-person learning at both campuses, start beginning Monday, December 7th, and remain in a virtual environment through Friday, January 16, 2021. And again, that is the recommendation. I've provided that letter to each of you, and we've uploaded it to the board docs. We've had to, because of cases, we've had to quarantine over 600 people, both staff and students. I've been on campuses, I've been with our teachers, our principals have been on campuses. It's been so nice to see kids back on campus and be able to do that. But, things are as such now. That is the recommendation. Knowing that we were going to be talking about this today, I just wanted to bring that recommendation forward to you and just ask the board to give me some direction on where we go with this. The rationale behind in our conversation that they had closing now is just because of the cases. There is an outside chance that if we were to hit red for the third benchmark on Thursday, the health department would close us in.
They would mandate that we close.
Yes, they've already said that if we hit 3 reds, they will mandate that we close. Right now, this is their recommendation because we don't have benchmarks on Thursday. And so I also know that the epidemiologists had talked to me and they assumed that the COVID-like illness and the hospitalizations would go to yellow again, but they didn't think that that would happen until after Christmas, and we're 2 weeks before Christmas and we're already there. So that's
This information also is still 2 weeks lag time, correct?
right, and this is all 2 weeks lag time. We're still 2 weeks. The current benchmarks we send out are 2 weeks lag time. So that is their recommendation. They said that the rationale behind it is, number one, it would almost give our students a 14-day quarantine going into the holidays. And the reason for the 16th would give us a 14-day quarantine coming out of the holidays in the event that anybody was positive, that we would hopefully be able to reopen our schools and bring everybody back. And so that is the recommendation that was made. I've sent all of you today the documents from both schools, the numbers of cases that we've had, both positive, the quarantine cases we've had. And then I've also sent you the numbers for students as we move into the spring and we get ready to start a new semester, the numbers for students and what we're looking at right now. But again, as things change, so do parents' decisions. We have, I can tell you, both principals are here right now. I know we have a number of parents who chose the modified in-person, who have not been sending their kids to school for some time now because of fear for them getting sick. So all of us want kids in school. I've said it 1,000 times. I want kids in school, but only if it's safe for our staff and only if it's safe for our students. And I'm not sure we're there anymore. So,
And I've always felt, we as a board have always, number one, wanted, as long as it was safe for staff, students, and everybody else, that we wanted kids in school. When we made the motion to go back to the hybrid, that was the only method that we thought. Steve, there's some value for the district to make this decision as opposed to having the county mandate that we close?
yes, if you as a board make a decision and the county has not shut our district down, we have flexibility in how we still operate, and how we operate as far as people being on the campus. Some of the things we do, we have some flexibility there. If the county shuts us down or shuts the school down, everybody on the campus is to be off the campus and stays off the campus until they say we can come back. So there are some advantages to a district making their own decision, and that we can dictate a little bit of what we do and how we operate right now. So we still have that flexibility.
Well, as much as I'm for keeping the district open, I don't see how we can responsibly go against what the county is recommending and probably going to mandate. And I think it would be better for us to take action prior to that happening. The trend has only been going one way for the last 3 weeks, so
Longer than that.
I don't see it getting any better. So this might be, in my opinion, our best option is to go ahead and follow the recommendation as much as
I remember
like to stay open.
when we first started this, the attorney spoke to us also.
Yes.
And one of his clear guidances was if you choose to do something outside these recommendations, you put the district
At risk.
at risk.
So with the numbers for each of the districts, the number of students and staff on quarantine at any one time right now is 4 at Union, 4 or 6 at Union,
Yeah.
and 88, as I read, at
There's like-
Vista.
Yeah, because we just had to, what is it, Glenda, 50-some we had to send out letters on Sunday. 50-some new ones, yeah.
We brought 50-something back after they were exposed to another team that had alignment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we sent 74 out this week on Sunday because we had a staff member and 2 students who we found out were positive.
Okay, so, those numbers don't match what's going on in the county because of what we're doing at the 2 schools. They're very low compared to the high numbers that are going around in the county, but that's not what we're faced with. I mean, the county is using a big hammer on us. And like I said, it'd be better for us to decide to close on our own rather than the county to come down and mandate it. But I got a question. What happens to, she's recommending to close tomorrow. He's recommending close tomorrow?
No, Monday.
This coming
Fulfill
Monday.
this week and start,
Okay.
so Friday would be our last official
Okay.
day in person.
And so what happens to the sports teams,
Okay.
especially if the football team wins Friday night,
Yes.
the following, what happens to them?
And I've addressed all this. I've talked with them about everything. So their recommendation, number one, because we also deal with the AIA. If Cascaran, the football team and the football players have done a really good job trust me, these kids are doing a good job of trying to stay away from each other, and keep themselves healthy. If they win Friday night, they will be able to continue to practice. And just like, remember when we started this, before we were ever in person, we had sports were already starting before kids were ever back on campus. Yeah. So I've already talked to Dr. Spears, and they said they don't see any problem with the team themselves, practicing and doing what they need to do to get ready to play another game. As far as all other sports, right now we have our winter sports teams practicing. We have even some of our spring teams are practicing. The recommendation would mean that nobody practices for the next, until after winter break that doesn't need to practice. And technically, none of our winter teams have to practice. The season has officially been moved to January the 5th. Coaches were trying to keep kids going because they kind of started and then we got delayed. But their recommendation was that nothing else extracurricular happens. We let the football team finish because they're in a very special place right now, only if it's healthy for them to do so. And then we don't do any other extracurriculars or no other sports at this time.
So what happens? Do we have any other fall sports that are going on?
No.
That's it?
Football, the only thing that we have up and coming is cheer. In December, we'll have a competition. And again, I asked about that. Again, as long as we're doing what we did prior to that, that's not an issue. It's the issue that we're having, and they commended us. I've been commended over and over again by Dr. Spear and the epidemiologist from the district. We have not had a major outbreak on one of our campuses yet. We have not. And that's, a lot of schools can't say that. We've done it
because of what we're doing.
because of the way we're doing it, because we're doing it smaller. But what is starting to happen, and their growing concern, is every day we turn around, and Glenda, I'm right here, they can take, there is not a day that goes by that we don't identify somebody else who's now positive or have to quarantine somebody else. It's people are getting it in the community and then bringing it to the school. And then, and so it's their concern is that we just keep, the numbers just keep climbing, and their concern we're really about the spike. And especially now with hospitalizations being up as high as they are. Like I said, they said, I asked if there was any last advice to you. They said, well, just, between us, if we hit 3 reds on Thursday, it may not matter what your board thinks because we would close it.
So what happens with the other activities going on within both campuses for the, CTE programs and whatever programs or extra, Mr. Morris's robotics class, or what happens to them?
Well, with the extracurriculars, we're gonna have to, like right now, their advice right now is that everything shut down that can shut down until after winter break.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can look to start slowly bringing things back. My goal would be that on January 4th, we have a professional development day that we were able to, hopefully we'll be able to bring staff back on the 4th and start preparing for kids to come back eventually. And we can start in that, right? And we could start doing that. I'm saying right now, the best thing we could do is to take a break for a couple of weeks and just shut things down. So we don't also contribute to the spread.
So the question is, on Thursday, if we get 3 reds and they close us down, then your hands are tied.
Everything's closed. Now, I would have to ask their permission for football to even go on Friday. So, so there's things, we talked about everything. I talked to them about sports. I talked to them about extracurriculars. There's other extracurriculars. We have the state fry that was the Casey's doing that was gonna come be a drive-through event. Dance has a recital. So there's other things we're gonna have to address. All of the things that they're saying, based on the data, based on the evidence, based on everything else, this is their recommendation.
Yeah, and that's still a 2-week lag time.
Right, and that's still 2 weeks left, that's what you said.
And so if it spikes.
Right.
So the question I'm still trying to ask, you're talking one thing is we can wait till Monday. But if we made a decision prior to that, so that we still have some flexibility as far as being able to bring people back on
Right.
campus. And
If you vote to follow their recommendation tonight, and we notify our parents and our staff that we're gonna close our schools after Friday, and we're gonna do that, we have the flexibility to dictate what we do over the next few weeks.
Okay.
Or what we do over the next, until we come back again.
I just want
We have that flexibility as a district.
to make sure we keep our.
Right, but if we have a pandemic and they shut us down, then we don't have any flexibility.
Right, and that closes the campus period, right?
Yep, completely. Everybody on the campus will have to leave the campus. So, and I don't even know how they said there's some hoops we'd have to jump through to even play football. Friday night is fine, but, and after that it won't matter because the state championship game, if Union wins on Friday night, the state championship game is at Highland High School. It's at a neutral site, and that's the AIA and everything else after that.
So if we make the decision today, then our hands are tied if they say everything's closed on Thursday.
Right.
That's
If we
correct.
make a decision today, we have flexibility as a district on how we operate from now until we come back.
So I mean, as far as like bringing teachers back
Mhm.
next week to
Yes.
teach from
Sure.
school with,
Having staff on campus, having people in the office, having people in the district office, we have all of that flexibility if you make the decision as a board.
the other question on that was, describe what the next couple of weeks as far as academics, et cetera. And we've talked about CTE, sports, et cetera, but
Right.
let's talk about academics
So
and what's gonna
academic-
happen with the kids.
well, academics, the biggest concern we've all had for the last week is we have finals, 2 weeks from now. However, I've been very pleasantly impressed with our teachers, with our administration, with our curriculum cadre. We've had a lot of conversations and a lot of people who are trying to do what's best for kids. And so one of the things we've already made a decision on, and it's being communicated now, is that our finals are not gonna be typical finals. But kids are gonna have some type of culminating activity that they're gonna have to demonstrate mastery in what they've done. But our teaching staff right now wants to continue, the ability to continue teaching their kids and to continue to let kids turn in assignments and get everything possibly done so they are successful this semester. These kids have been put through a lot. Our teachers have worked their tails off trying to get them across the finish line. And so now we're working hard to try to see what we can do to help our kids be successful. So it's not gonna be your typical finals that you have to put everybody in rows and they're gonna be taking a test for an hour and a half. But we have to demonstrate mastery, but our staff has come to us and said, we want our kids to be successful. We have ways to do it. So if we have to go back virtual, I guess the other advantage I see to that is just like we did before, we made kids log in every day and our teachers had all kids every day, every period for about a half hour or so. They had every kid to be able to, so we can do some things. But we have been planning all along how to make the finals week work virtually in case we got there. So I think we have a plan and I think our staff, but again, time is of essence because I only have a short window to get our staff and our parents ready for this transition so that we can make the last 2 weeks, we can take, make the best of the last 2 weeks of the semester.
So your recommendation, and well, obviously not a recommendation, is to follow the guidance from the Pinal County,
So,
but to go ahead and move this up so that we can, by Friday, is the last day of school for this week, and that allows the district opportunities to.
I need time. I've already got a meeting, knowing that you were gonna be meeting today, I already have an emergency, leadership meeting planned for tomorrow afternoon. We've got a lot of work to plan for and get ready for, and then I've got to be able to communicate to both staff and parents so that they can all be ready for this transition over the weekend.
So what do you need from the board? You need a motion?
I just need to know if you agree with this and this is the direction we're going, then I just need a motion to move forward with that, and then I can get the wheels turning tomorrow to do what we need to do to wrap this semester up as successfully as we can.
I think we've been extremely fortunate. Tremendous hats off to Tim's group, all of the teachers, students, and all the support staff. They've done an amazing job. We've been so fortunate to make it this far as compared to a lot of the districts up in the valley. They've already started closing down. They've had multiple times where schools have closed down, et cetera. And I think we've done as best as we could. We opened when we thought it was safe and that we were prepared to do it. And the teachers bought in and they did a wonderful job.
They've done an outstanding job.
Outstanding job. And Tim's group has just done, all the staff has done an amazing job. So we just need to be thankful for all of that. And at this point, my recommendation is to follow the advice and give Dr. Beebe as many opportunities to close school on Friday, and return to virtual to finish up the balance of the semester.
So is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay.
I second that motion to go ahead and follow the county's guidelines, shut her down.
I think we had our discussion.
Okay, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, I don't think this does our kids any good, but, given the circumstances, I think we need to give our district some flexibility. And so I'm gonna reluctantly vote yes.
Ms. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
And Mr. Hens?
Yes, I think we're all of that. But the question is making the decision on what's the best and safest thing for our students and staff at this point. And it's a non-issue as far as being able to make that decision. My answer is yes.
Well, thank you, and I think that you have said that, I've said that, and that safety has to be first and foremost, and so thank you for allowing that to happen. It's not what any of us wanted to happen or see happen, but it's important that we keep people safe.
Okay, good job.
Okay, well, the next is happier. Donations, move to accept the following donations. Microbit Educator Lab Pack valued at $300 from Walmart to Castran Girls That Code, $1,000 from Abbott to Castran First Robotics Team, and $330 chapter grant from SED SEDS USA to Castran SEDS.
I make a motion, we accept all those donations.
I will second.
I tell you what, that robotics team does well.
Yes, they do.
Mr. Wright?
To our donors.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
And Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Next, we have a consent agenda. Is there anything A through F, anything anybody wants removed for discussion?
I move we accept the consent agenda A through A in its entirety. A through F, I mean. What is it?
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
I only had one. Steve, substitutes are still a major issue, correct?
Oh, yeah, and well, that's another thing I could have talked about in the last item. And Brian and Glenda can both tell you, there's been many a times now with, and that's the other thing, as our teachers are getting worn out, having to sub on their prep periods regularly, because we've had days where we've had 25 teachers out in the district, and that we're stretched as thin as we can be then, and to truly appropriately run our schools. And so
Multiple
it's been
schools
tough.
up in the valley, multiple schools up in the valley had to close because they didn't have enough
Yes,
teachers.
there's a number of schools in Scottsdale that just closed because their staff is out and they don't have enough substitutes to adequately run their schools. So subbing is really difficult right now. Nobody wants to sub in this environment. So.
Okay, Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mrs. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
And Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Okay, so we have no informational items. Any future agenda items that anybody wants to put on the board? Go ahead. What did I miss?
No, well, no, I just wanted to say, I was gonna, on the consent agenda, I was gonna make a comment if I may. It's already been voted on and approved, so I'm not asking you to unapprove it. But I just wanted to take a minute to just to publicly, because it's a little bit early, he's gonna be with us for a while, but just to publicly say thank you to Steve Sipes. He's already retired once, and now he's gonna officially be done at the end of the school year. But I've appreciated getting to know him and have part of my leadership team. His wealth of knowledge of CTE has just been a huge benefit. So I just want to say thank you publicly to him for his service.
You will truly be missed.
Very much.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We do have to have a special meeting.
Yes. We are going to have to go out for an RFP for insurance, and that's going to happen before January. And so my request would be if we could have a special meeting 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
And it can be on the phone if we need to, if you're not available, but we need to have a meeting because we're going to have to go out for an RFP, and we're going to need your approval to do that with insurance. We can't wait till January.
We can do that.
Yeah, you guys, and Steve, just one other question on that. So if things continue in the fashion that they are, would the board need to have another meeting to decide how to, potentially
Yes.
we'd be coming back in between time then to make it and give parents, et cetera, enough heads up to know that we'll be coming back in a virtual?
Remember, it was based on the recommendation that was just made. That would put us in a virtual or a remote learning opportunity until January 16th. When I talked to Dr. Spears today and I talked to the epidemiologist, what they told me is that by about the 4th or 5th, when we would be coming back, they'll have a pretty good idea of the trends. And so I think right now, we may have to have a meeting just to talk about reopening. Otherwise, I think our meeting on the 12th would work. Because there is, we're gonna have to revisit all this, because we don't know where it's gonna go. We don't know if it's gonna get worse, if it's gonna get better, what it's gonna do. And so they've already warned that this is their recommendation, that we stay out till the 16th if things don't get worse and start to improve. If they get worse, then we can be talking just like we were again. So yes, we will have to revisit that, but I would have time to be able to communicate with the board, and, because we'll have our 2 new board members then, and potentially have a meeting prior to the 12th if we needed to discuss anything. If we're not planning on coming back before the 16th, I think the 12th would be sufficient to get, if I could bring the staff back, we can get ready and be ready for this, to come back. And I think because of Martin Luther King Day, the 19th would be the first day back anyway. So that gives us a little bit of time. So
we can give parents a heads up,
Yes.
et cetera.
Right.
And especially
Right.
teachers that are ours.
Yeah.
That have elementary students,
Right.
et cetera, and
Right.
we need to kind of come up.
And all technicality, this also would put us, if all goes well, would put us coming back in session at the same time the elementary district is planning. That's right now, they're out through that exact date.
Right.
So we would all be coming back about the same time. And again, let's hope things get better so that we can.
Anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on the consent agenda. The principal, Mr. Mab and Mrs. Cole, I'd be more than willing to substitute if I didn't have my business to run. So I just want you to be aware of that.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
awesome.
Lopez, we appreciate that.
Anything else?
You can't fit that into your schedule, Mr.
Somebody like
I can. You might be able to save a little money if you just wheeled some cars over to the auto shop. They're willing to help. Exploratory mechanics.
You need a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn, yes.
Nancy, thank you very much. I sure
Yes.
appreciate the time that I've been here with you. But thank you for your
Second.
service.
Yes, thank you, Nancy. Mr. Lopez?
All in
you
favor?
can start the next meeting.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh.
What'd you say?
I don't know.